Yo, you ready for Mont and Tiff? Let's go!
Never kept up with the latest, never tried to be the greatest, but let's be honest, yes we want this, oh.
Hey, I'm Mont.
I'm Tiff.
And I'm Cherekia.
And these
Are a few
Of our
favorite
sings.
See, that time I went higher, but I felt I should have went lower.
You want to take
I thought you had the bravado on me.
I know I was going to do it, but I just kind of freestyled this time.
No,
Yeah.
I'm joking. That's how
okay.
we just,
Yeah.
it's all good.
Yeah.
We back once again, you guys. Our favorite sings. So good to be here with you again. It's old Mont, as you know. And my other half,
I'm here.
Tiffany. How you doing?
I'm doing good. We having fun tonight.
We are having way too much fun. This
Yeah.
is outstanding. I could do a lot of this.
Yeah.
yes.
We might have something here. You know what I mean? All right. And we have today another with a hard A. Sang up.
Sang us.
Okay. And again, see, and don't, you're going to see them and don't be fooled by this whole bashful and quiet thing. These are some powerhouse singers right here, y'all.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to do the name right. She think I know the
Okay.
name right. Miss Cherekia Hall.
Absolutely. You did it, friend. Awesome.
Heart.
Yes.
How are you doing today, Miss?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Thank you for
Awesome.
coming on the show.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you being on. We got a lot to get into, guys, and it is a blessing. I mean, I just want to say again, thank everybody that's already just in the early stages of the show supporting us. You know, when I first started my old podcast, you know, it took a little bit. had to put out a lot more than I did now, and had to do a lot of shows by myself.
Well, you paved the way for us.
But I tried to.
Yeah,
you know,
you
Trailblazers
laid
always
down
good.
you laid down
You
the
know,
groundwork
now,
for us.
you know,
Yeah.
now we in here, we rooms, we got lights, you know, all this stuff fancy. You know what I'm saying? I was doing podcasts in my pajamas back in the day, but Lord, it brought me up a little bit. So we're here, and of course, we're going to get right into. We're going to start with our favorite sings. Now okay, Cherekia, you went with Mr. Donnie Hathaway.
Oh, yes.
Whoa, now okay.
Oh, yes.
What I told you to do, remember the rule for this show. We put the show out, and we always put our guest, and we say our guest on this song. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff, but if you've never heard that song, take time to listen to the song first so you know what we're talking about, okay?
Right.
What is the song from Donnie Hathaway that you picked?
Someday we'll all be free.
Now, Mr. Hathaway, we talking about, now what's crazy is you're going to give a Christmas song, but you didn't pick the famous Christmas song Donnie
No.
Hathaway did, but we're going to get into that in a minute. But
awesome.
listen, that man's voice, and I know it's kind of amazing because his daughter now has really taken the
gosh,
mantle,
she's
like
awesome.
Layla. You know,
Yes.
one day she will be sitting with us as well. You know, we're gonna have a talk with her, but I'm glad she's really helped his legacy because
Yeah.
Agreed.
folks that's 19, 20 might not even know like who's Donnie. He don't know.
We were just having this conversation that some of these millennials have no idea
None.
No.
who some of the greats are, and
it's a
he
shame, too.
is definitely a great.
And the crazy thing is, with all that they have to their, you know, now you don't got to get albums, you ain't got to get cassettes. You know, if you got iTunes, you can listen to all this. But some folks, we got into a brief talk with Candace Moore about some of them ridiculous songs. I know, I don't want to sound like a hater, like an old man. There's some songs that are just your Macarenas, your Who Let the Dogs Out.
like,
Okay,
why?
I'm not hating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's fine for what it is. But we talking about a soul singer right here. You know what I'm saying, Donnie? You know, you got Otis.
You got
we
Teddy.
some Teddy P.
Yes.
You know, turn out the. I ain't gonna
Yes.
don't start.
Okay.
But
Have your way.
what about this song really inspires you? This song by Donnie.
You know what? The background to that song, I remember watching his a documentary about him. He suffered with mental illness.
Yes, he did.
And so they said when he wrote that song, that was him singing to the illness that he was suffering with. I think it was schizophrenia that he was dealing with. And one of the words in the song, some of the lyrics was "Hang on, don't let the world get you down. Just hang on in there." And I think that's something that sticks with me a lot because there's so much going on in the world, so much going on in my world personally, trying to make sure that I'm always meeting the standard that I've been for a long time, the standard that I have been thought to like obtain or get to. So listening to that, hey, don't let the winds get you down, and the hanging on in there, just that's the premise of the song anyway. And someday we'll all be free. I think that's something we all trying to hold on to.
Oh, yes.
That freedom and not being bogged down by the cares of the world or the thoughts of our friends or our failures, things that we've dealt with, just being free from all that. I think that's the goal for all of us.
It is, in 2019, writing songs now, we can talk about writing from experience, and we can talk about, writing, things that you love. But when folk wrote songs back in those days,
it meant something.
And and when you wrote "Wanting to Be Free" back then, and Donnie had a lot of things going on in his life, but these were anthems, almost civil rights like anthems for people who were still going through a lot of downtrodden times and just trying to come up at that point, when this song was wrote. And so people, nowadays, like I say, things move so fast, and you hear a song, great, it's great. What's the next song? Who's coming up with some next? This is songs that stay with people for years.
And the beautiful thing about it is that even though it was written, I want to say in the 70s, here we are, 2019. I'm 30, and it's still relevant for me. Yeah. And it's still hitting home to me as if it just was released yesterday. You know what I mean? And I think that's what I know we were talking about with Candace, the songs that are so empty. And Patti LaBelle said it recently in an article that a lot of songs that we're listening to now lack substance. There's nothing, friend. That's why, don't get me started tangent. Don't get me started. I think that's why a lot of millennials have no guidance, don't know who's who, because there's nothing to grasp onto and hold on to. Everything is fading fast.
Well, and let's talk about that. Let's kind of get into that because, and I don't even want to make it sound like a bad thing because I use it now, but one of the pioneers, and you have to give him credit, but Soulja Boy used the internet and used his computer and made a song. Right. And everybody was like, wait, what? What is this? You know what I'm saying? Me I'm a trained musician, classically, all of that stuff, coming up. And I was just like, wait, is this real? And he opened a door, good and bad, for some things that kind of what you speak to now, that there's a side of it that is just this mass-produced thing, and you just they all kind of sound the same. And I know maybe our parents said that about some of our songs. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, because it's a different time now.
It is a different time, but it seems like nowadays there's just nothing really that. I shouldn't say nothing because I hate painting with a broad brush, but a lot of it can just be just packaged and just this is this, and I'm talking about this, and everybody's talking about the same thing. And when you go back to older songs. And with artists that really went through some things,
you feel it, you hear it. Yes,
it means something.
Absolutely, and you can hear it in the song. Yeah. You can feel it, and everything translates through. You know what I mean from those songs. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a song. I might lose a lot of y'all, but Simon and Garfunkel, "Bridge Over Troubled Waters."
Oh yeah.
And Aretha Franklin did it, and so many people have done it now. And that song, man, I don't know what Mr. Simon was going through in his life when he wrote that, but it speaks, and that's a whole different, different race, different creed and all that. But that's the beauty of this show, is that the music, when it's real and when it's tangible, it can bring so many people together, and it really can, it just wraps us up. It don't matter, that's what I love to see an artist go overseas. I love to just see that their concert, and you see the same people in a different language going crazy for their songs. And it's like, man, how do y'all even know? Y'all don't even speak the language, but the music translates. Right. So let's also then hit your Christmas song. Again, it's Christmas season, Christmas time. So I wanted everybody coming on to bring a Christmas song with them as well. You picked what?
My favorite Christmas song is "Oh Holy Night."
Yes.
And it's kind of emotional. It stirs me up a little bit. So as you get to the climax of the songs and it says, fall on your knees. I'm a worshiper at heart.
Fall on your knees.
That's the posture of my heart to worship. So you get to that point and you're thinking about the premise of Christmas and how celebrating Jesus' birth, and you saying fall on your knees. Imagine being able to fall on your knees in front of the holies of holies.
That's
King
powerful.
of Kings. You know what I mean?
It is.
Yes.
So that song, it's a Christmas song, but for me it takes on a whole nother meaning for me. One of my favorites.
You're right. We don't sing that song enough because it is a Christmas song, but we could still sing that. You know, you only really hear it around Christmas time. But.
Well, right, but but we have to think about too what Christmas is for us as believers. You know what I mean? So it all ties in together.
And then there's a part of that song, if y'all want to go listen to it, it's still in air pining, till he appeared. That part just gets me together too. Till he appeared, and the soul felt its worth. Oh, a thrill of hope, a weary world rejoices. I break songs down. I just don't listen for beats and stuff. And I love the beat; it helps you. But when you sit down and you listen to a song and the lyrical content, it takes on a new meaning, and it may even hit a little more.
Absolutely, when you hear it, yes.
So a small Christmas song that gets me together.
It's. I mean, people don't even talk like that no more. Let me say again some of the lyrics again. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices. For yonder breaks
a
new glorious morn. Now, when the last time you said yonder or morn in a sentence? Like we don't do that no more. Folks don't say yonder and morn no more.
In the South, yonder means it's far
over
off.
there.
Yonder and morn. Young people, look it up.
Yes.
Look it up. All right. I mean, I'm serious. We're here with a lovely and talented Miss Cherekia Hall.
Cherekia is also a songwriter as well.
Yes.
I am.
Yes. And we had a great talk with Miss Candace Moore about the art of songwriting, and let's get into that as well, because I love that when anybody that writes songs and anybody can sing. And again, if you don't write songs, no big deal. It's fine. I'm not down on you, but it is hard. So when you're inspired, now Candace said melodies really are what she kind of grasps onto. Do you have, when you're writing, anything that is kind of like, man, when I get that, then I can go, or is it anything that?
Yeah, what's your process?
Because I have a whole little voice memo full of concepts that need to be put together. But most of the time, like, I have a song on all digital outlets. It's called Waiting.
Yes.
So when I wrote that song, I was living in Houston and I was by myself. And one of the lyrics in is, I'm not worried about tomorrow. What's happened is already past. So I think about, when I'm writing a song, I really think about concepts. What's going on with me right now that I need to get out? And sometimes I journal a lot. And so sometimes I just go to how I'm feeling, just write it out. What's going on with me at that time, and try to make it work for somebody else. I can't listen to a track and then come up with a song, because then I'll get lost in it, like, I don't want to go with that. But if I can, like, I think on what's going on with me, or what could be going on with anybody else. I think on conversations that I've had with people, not putting nobody's business in the songs, but just thinking about conversations that I've had and trying to make it make sense in a song. Because that's good medicine. Yeah. Music is very good medicine. And if somebody can hear, I think I've had that conversation. Medicine. That's going to help me. Oh, thank you. That did help me, because I've talked about that before. So real live events and conversations that I've had really helps me write songs.
I think for a songwriter, to have someone come up to you and say, man, what you wrote was something I was going through, or man, thank you for that. I mean, that's one of the highest compliments. I mean, I know there's awards, you can get all that, but just that personal connection for somebody that wrote a song. And I know for songwriters that don't sing, to have somebody sing what you wrote and then have it, it's the same kind of feeling as well. So I want to ask you then, because man, I love your depth when you're talking about this. Anybody that is maybe wanting to come up, and there's maybe a young person right now that's listening to us, and we've kind of, and again, young people, I'm not downing anything about new technology and all that, because I use it as well. You know what I'm saying? I'm on my Mac making music and all those things like that. But if you had to talk to a young person, man, I want to like write and sing and all that, what kind of advice would you give them in terms of how to maybe be seasoned, you know, in the craft of writing and singing and all that?
I would tell them, first of all, what is your why? Figure that out first. Why do you want this so bad? Yeah. What is it about the music and the industry? Because the industry is not always so beautiful. You see the lights, makeup, and the money and the popularity, but there are some things going on behind the scenes that you have to be ready for. And you know, understand your why, because if you know a why and you face obstacles and foolishness and everything that comes with it, you have something to go back on. This is why I'm here. I'm not going to let this get me down. This is why I'm here. And get some discipline in your life.
Come on.
Yes.
Get some discipline.
They don't hear that.
Because if you are a disciplined writer, singer, performer, dancer, whatever you do, if there's some discipline there, that means something is keeping you grounded.
Absolutely.
So can't nobody uproot you and take you anywhere and do anything with you. You know what I mean? So I would definitely say get some discipline.
Yes.
And understand why you went into it in the first place.
See, if you listen to when we had Lillian on and she used an opera singer, she talked about all the process and things she had to learn and learn and learn. I know that for singers, you know, you can just be born singing and be gifted. But if you're not disciplined in your craft,
man,
you know, some doors could be open, like, man, you could blow. But like you say, you can be uprooted by some things because you're not grounded in nothing. And now you're doing things you don't want to do, or, man, I'm out here, I don't know what I'm doing no more. Like you say, find your why.
Exactly.
And, you know, like the word says in the Bible that gifts and callings are without repentance, which means you can be gifted to do something. You know, LeBron is gifted to play basketball, you know what I mean? But as I know a lot of guys could play ball, but weren't disciplined enough to practice and get to the higher level and things like that and be messed up. So,
and if you're referring to Bible, it also says faith without works is dead. Do
Come on
not
now.
be lazy.
Come on.
And I had to get myself together with that. I may have a gift. I can sing. I can write. I can act a little bit. I have written soundtracks or plays or whatever.
Nice, yeah.
So all those gifts, you have all that. And if you ain't putting no work in it, then ain't nothing going to manifest out of that. And I'm sorry for my improper English.
No, put an ain't on that. We need an ain't with that one.
But nothing at all is going to manifest out of what you're doing if you are not putting any work behind it. And my pastor, shout out to Christian Embassy, my pastor preached about that, about how we pray and we want everything to just fall in our hands. Lord, I need some money. Oh,
absolutely.
Lord, I need this. I want a husband.
Cherekia.
I'm saying, Lord, Lord, I want a husband. You think this man's going to fall in your lap or whatnot? That's not how it works. You pray and you ask God, I need this and that. He's already blessed you with everything you need. We already have blessings in spiritual places. We have everything we need. The thing is, we have to tap into what God has placed in us and let it manifest. Who do you think you are that you should just be given everything?
Preach a word.
I was just about to say, she came ready to preach today.
Preach a word.
You know what I mean? If God just gave us everything, we wouldn't have a reason to appreciate him.
That's true.
If we wouldn't even know what it is to have faith, if he just gave us everything we need. If you never been through nothing, you wouldn't know he could fix it. If you never been broke, you wouldn't know he can give you money. If you never been broken, you wouldn't know he could restore you. So at some point, ladies and gentlemen, friends.
Look here.
I'm about to get up and dance in a second.
Tea and crumpets, can you get the organ out? Let me get a little.
It's
at
time.
Some point with the why and your discipline, put in that work behind your faith. And I promise, I'm a witness. I promise God to do something with it.
Do y'all see what we giving y'all on this show right here?
This is some good stuff.
And I've talked about this 100 times, and people say, you know, man, you know, I heard Lord, I can't remember who it was, but they said, you know, you want a pizza shop, right? Lord, bless me with a pizza shop, and you just waiting. But while you waiting, okay, how much sauce gonna cost?
Oh yeah.
Where you gonna have it at? What kind of pizzas you want to serve? How many people is gonna be in the restaurant?
Do your part.
I don't know. I'm just gonna. God, no. See, that's the worst part.
Yeah, the pizza shop is not gonna drop from the sky.
It ain't gonna drop. God says I'm gonna put it in you, but you ain't doing nothing.
Right. Make sure you have the right staff. That's another thing. Make sure the right people
These
around
are all things you need to be.
Absolutely.
Like, Lord, I need a job, but you never go out and fill out an application.
I'm trying to tell you.
Ain't doing a hot biscuit.
I'm trying to tell you.
Well, doors of the church are open. We about to.
And it's almost offering time.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't heard a word. We didn't broke it down. We didn't give you all the Christmas. We went with some Donnie, all of that. I don't know what else you need in this show. I mean, this has been outstanding. I've enjoyed this thoroughly. Again,
absolutely.
We want to give you time. Come on, give you plugs where people can find
all
you
your handles and all your songs.
Let them know.
You know what? I don't do the Twitter. I'm not a bird. I don't tweet. However,
I gotta use that one time.
You can find me on Instagram, Cherekia Renee Hall. Actually, see Renee Hall. And on Facebook, Cherekia, Cherekia. I'm the only one, and that's the right way to spell it if you ever meet anybody else. Cherekia Renee Hall on Facebook. I have a new single coming out on December 21st called Jesus Made a Way. There's a story behind that, too. Waiting is on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, all digital outlets. And I'm just excited to be alive.
You want to sing a little bit of Jesus Made a Way? I can match picture if you want
Tiff.
to.
Come on, Tiff. Give it a pitch.
Go on and sing us.
Jesus made a way made a way, made a way, made a way. Jesus made a way.
Talk to him.
Made a way, made a way, made a way.
I'm excited about the 21st.
Let me do my Kirk Franklin puff.
cannot wait.
And when he went away,
Yeah.
he came again. No, Kirk, love you, man.
Yeah.
That's a little bit that y'all can get. I'm telling you, listen, we ain't just bringing some halftime singers. We bringing some full-time singers on these shows, y'all. I'm trying to tell you guys. At this point, you've heard great stuff from all of our guests so far. But wow, this was outstanding. Cherekia, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Don't think you won't be asked to come on again, because you will, because you local, so we're going to bring you back, of course.
I'll be ready. I'll bring my Bible next time.
Can you tell us what's going on? Because we almost started studying.
I was about to say, we was
yeah.
you trying to just preach this.
I'm
Yeah.
a church. I'm a coach of kids,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm always ready.
I think we all are in here.
If you
Maybe.
can't join in, you got to be born in.
This is
a
the
church
of
of
God in Christ. Oh,
Don't
yes.
start. But tell us what's happening on the 21st. Tell us what's going on when you release your single. It's a concert, is it not?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
On the 21st, my song will be released. I am on a label called Gimp with Tay Gaston. He's a great bass player. Tay play everything.
Who we will have on the show.
We have him on the show.
Yes.
He's coming on. Yes.
So we're doing a concert, and all of the artists that are on the label are releasing music that night on December
Nice.
21st at New Light Baptist Church at 7 p.m. It's going to be really good. Vegas has a lot of really great singers, a lot of great
Yes, they
musicians,
do.
just a lot of talent in this desert, and it's only a matter of time before we just pop out everywhere.
Breaking out. Please support y'all, okay? I mean, again, there's a lot of, music out there and all of that stuff, but very rarely do you get to hear the artist speak in a way that's real and you can hear them. So you've heard her speak, so there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to support her project. I mean, she's coming from the heart with this. I mean, and it was outstanding. Thank you again so much.
Thank you for
This
coming.
is outstanding. Our favorite sings. Check us out. We on Spotify, iTunes, of course, YouTube as well. Mont and Tiff, we will be somewhere. May do a live show, might do a pop up, might be all up in your biz.
I was
you
just
know
about
what I'm
to say
saying?
we set up shop on the
Hey,
21st.
You know what I'm saying? We might just like DMX, stop, drop, shut them down, open up.
Oh.
I got all my doing a lot of impersonations in there. Why you gotta be doing all that? Tiff, all right. Anything else? You good?
No, I think we're good.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
All right. Please stay with us. We will be back next week. As always, stay sharp. Thank you so much.